Welcome to Conquering Chronic Illness. My name is Teresa. Today we're going to talk about what's going on in my life, and I'm going to try not to be, there's a camera, I'm going to try not to be messy. Okay, so I am actually going to be recording today some videos. I batch record if anybody cares. And so part of the reason you see me with the same like hair and makeup for like a month is because I try to record like a month worth of videos at a time. I spend most of my time over on Instagram. What is my Instagram? It's the same thing, Conquering.Chronic.Illness with periods in between. So I'm doing makeup. I probably also do some to my hair, but I'm not going to do that on camera because it would take so long. And I figured since I am technically an hour behind schedule, I'm going to go get some makeup. Who loves me online? I was just recording it real. But I figured I would record a kind of life update video. So that I could like kill two birds with one stone, get some content, and also do my makeup for the rest of my content. Is that all I need? Oh, primer. Let's do that. 2 primers actually. This is not a makeup tutorial video, but like, I guess I could I have like one. It's actually, that one's actually not a tutorial video on me and my husband's channel, Team Lawson. Oh, that's too much. But yeah, I don't know how to do makeup. I'm not for anybody's face but my own, and that is debatable. But yeah, the title of this video is probably going to be "My Doctors Failed Me," which is why I said I want to try not to be messy, because particularly one doctor, I think at the bare minimum did not do his job. I was supposed to microplane my face, but we've passed that now. Like at the bare minimum, he did not do his job. Worst case scenario, he was harmful and negligent. But I'm just gonna be I was about to say I was going to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I'm not. Because he just didn't do his job. And that's just all to it. And so I just went and got another one. So, y'all know, Conquer Chronic Illness. Oh, this is so insane. Y'all know I have fibromyalgia. Still got it. It's not one of the things that just goes away just because you do what you're supposed to. And before I was even diagnosed with fibromyalgia, I've been dealing with anxiety and depression. And so after, like me and my primary care physician's efforts to manage the anxiety and depression did not work. She had felt for a while before I actually went to the doctor that I was dealing with fibromyalgia. I didn't want to deal with it because it is a diagnosis of exclusion, and so that meant another specialist and dealing with a lot more tests and things just to exclude everything else that we were pretty sure that it wasn't. That whole process, it wasn't as bad as I made it out to be, just figuring out that I had fibromyalgia, but it wasn't fun. It wasn't something that I particularly wanted to do because I was already anxious and depressed. And if you did not know, which is something that I didn't know the extent of, fibromyalgia just makes those symptoms of depression and anxiety worse. So the best thing I could do was deal with the the best thing I could do for my anxiety was deal with the fibromyalgia. Well, went to that doctor. I'm sorry. Let me turn this down because apparently I am a popular person this morning. There. Went to that doctor And was officially diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I officially started the medicine that was supposed to help fibromyalgia with my primary care physician, but the rheumatologist upped the dose. And I was already experiencing some negative symptoms, and it just got worse. And I stopped taking it. I quit taking it. I saw my rheumatologist one more time. I was having horrible hip pain. I had it for months. I genuinely had the hip pain for months. And I asked him about me quitting taking Cymbalta. I asked him if that was a problem. He said no. He said the best thing is to manage it with as little medicine as possible and to take the medicines that you need that don't make it worse. And since I got worse with the fibromyalgia and just the side effects of the medicine were worse, and I was managing okay, that I was okay. I wasn't going to make the fibromyalgia worse by not taking the medicine. If it got worse, it wasn't me not taking the medicine. I just needed to try something different. Basically, was his assessment. So it got worse. I had a horrible flare. What I thought was just that looks so weird. That is concealed on my lips. I had a horrible flare of what I thought was fibromyalgia. Spoiler alert, it was not. And so it was just this horrible flare of pain. Like, I was dealing with worsening fibromyalgia because I started seeing a nutritionist and was trying to exercise more and eat less, and that was stressing out my body, and the cortisol or the general stress of it was making the fibromyalgia a lot worse. To the point where I had this horrible pain flare towards the end of November, like literally searing pain through my hands and my feet, horrible migraine pain, pain all the way down the back of my spine that radiated from my spine, across my back, across my hips. Like, it got to the point where all I could do was lay in the bed. I stopped sleeping because nothing that I took helped the pain. And so I messaged my rheumatologist. I was like, hey, this is what I'm having this horrible pain flare. This is what I have been doing. Taking pain medication, ibuprofen and acetaminophen, kind of like alternating what I take every few hours so I'm not overdosing on a particular one. I told him what I was not able to do, and he was like, you need to talk to your PCP, which I thought was weird because fibromyalgia falls under the window of rheumatology. And I was like, well, whatever. I just messaged my PCP. And I messaged my PCP and I was like, hey, I'm in a whole lot of pain. My rheumatologist told me to message you. I told her that. I told her what I've been doing, what I was going through, and I told her that I had messaged my rheumatologist to see if I needed to come in or if there was something else that I could do, and he told me to message you. And so she messaged me back. She was like, I'm not sure why. I wasn't sure why either. I didn't care at that point. I was just in a lot of pain. And this is happening over the course of maybe 48 hours between me messaging, and this entire time I am in searing pain, like horrible pain. Like, there was one day where like it took me, like, Macy got to school like an hour late because I could not get out of the bed to take her. I took her to school, came home, and just laid in bed till it was time to get her, and I was late picking her up. It was just really, really bad, and that was all I could do all day, was just lay in the bed. And so what am I doing next? Oh, this. And so I was like, what are y'all, I messaged my doctor back. I was like, what are y'all doing? Like, I am in extreme pain. Y'all are my doctors. Stop volleying me back and forth. Like, is there some, if I don't need to make an appointment, is there something you can just call in? And so I simultaneously messaged my rheumatologist back, like, look, I basically told him the same thing. I don't know what y'all doing, but like, both of y'all are my doctors. One of y'all could get off your butt and do something. I said it more diplomatically and politely than that, but that's what I meant. That is exactly what I meant. He never, to this day, this man has not messaged me back. And it was at that point I was like, well, if you don't want to be my doctor, like, it could have been go to the emergency room, make an appointment, and we'll see what's going on. Because I think when I tried to make an appointment before, he didn't have anything that day, and I was like, well, maybe if I message him, he can maybe fit me in or something. That was my thinking. Nothing. And I messaged my PCB back. And now we're going into the third day of this searing pain. And I messaged my PCB back. And I was like, this is what he said. This is not how this is supposed to go. And she was like, oh, I'm sorry. And I apologized for being short and angry with her, because I was. Because if he's my rheumatologist and he's supposed to do it, like, that is the majority of the problem. But still, both of y'all are my doctors. That's not how it's supposed to go. And she was like, I'm sorry, yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. But also did not request that I make an appointment. And at that point, I didn't want to go to the doctor with them. You know what I mean? Like, why would I want to go to the doctor to see somebody who obviously doesn't want to be my doctor? Right? And so, this whole time, I am going to counseling, and this was like Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I went to my counselor. That's normally when I had my appointment, and I was telling her what was going on, and she was like, that's not how that's supposed to go. I was like, I know it's not how it's supposed to go, but what do I do? Like, I'm in her office in obvious horrible pain. Like, what am I supposed to do now if neither of my doctors are doctoring me? Like, you go to the ER, yeah, that's an option, but like, you just, like, if neither of your doctors, if you're being turned away by your doctors, the ER just kind of looks at you as a person, or how, I don't know. That's not fair. But my concern was that the ER would just look at me like a person that was looking for narcotics, right? One of those pill seeking people. And that just wasn't the case. I didn't know fibromyalgia could get that bad. Right? And she was like, well, maybe you just need to see another rheumatologist. So I have a friend, social media friend. I haven't actually met her in person. Isn't that weird? But actually, my husband does know her. She went to school with my husband and my sister-in-law. But I messaged her because she had recommended a rheumatologist to me before. I was like, hey, can you give me the name of the rheumatologist that you recommended? She mentioned it because she also has fibromyalgia. Her Instagram is Black Girl Real Pain. Anyway, so she sent me the message. I made an appointment, but it was the holiday time, and like doctors take vacations, and it was 4 months out. It was to April before I get to see him, and like he wasn't going to be able to help me, basically. And so I literally dealt with the pain. I was in debilitating pain for probably about a week and a half. And then it got to the point where when I took medication, and I was taking a lot of medicine, I would take Excedrin plus ibuprofen in the morning, and then a few hours later, I would take acetaminophen, and then take some more Excedrin and ibuprofen when I could take some more. Like, I was just tearing up my poor stomach. Even after that, it took a few, I want to say, months for my stomach to get back to normal, because ibuprofen tears up your stomach. It works on pain and completely tears up your stomach. And so tearing up my stomach, trying to take enough pain medication to live and not die. And so I finally got to a point where the pain was manageable in December and I could like function. I was just taking ibuprofen and Excedrin when I needed it because it was just full body pain, like full body pain and migraine pain on top of that. And if you've ever had a migraine, you know you don't need anything else for it to be debilitating. But so December, I met with my nutritionist. I told her what was going on. I'd actually lost like 15, almost 20 pounds, I think. I can't remember. I think it was like 20. I lost a great deal of weight because I couldn't eat for. And then I think too in December we got a stomach virus. So on top of that, I ended up getting a stomach virus for my kid. But yeah. And she was like, yeah, that sucks. But you did lose some weight. Try to take it easy. Take care of yourself. And just kind of keep doing what you're doing health-wise. But the reality was I couldn't keep doing what I was doing. I was in too much pain to do anything other than just kind of cope and survive. And so at this point, I think I've gained all of it back. I don't get on the scale regularly, so I don't totally know. But I think at this point, I've pretty much gained all of it back. But I'm not particularly worried about it. And so what happened was, like, from the time of that week and a half of the horrible pain, it took probably about another 2 weeks where I could get to the point where I could just take medicine as needed, right? It wasn't just like I'm taking this to survive. It was like I don't have pain automatically when I wake up. No, I had pain when I woke up probably through January, but like I could take that in the morning to get the day going, some Excedrin and some ibuprofen, and then I would be all right. Right? And so that was my November, my December, and most of my January. And I was just waiting on an appointment with a new rheumatologist. So I had the appointment probably about a month ago. Meanwhile, back up, before we go to the appointment, in January, I started seeing a psychiatrist because, shocker, all of the pain had my anxiety, like, literally through the roof. Like, I was just in pain. And, like, being in pain makes everything worse. And so it did. It made everything worse. Hold on. Yes, this is lipstick. Yes, I'm about to put it on my cheeks. It's fine. So I am trying to find a medication to manage the anxiety and depression that I'm dealing with in my psychiatrist, while simultaneously dealing with minimizing my pain. And I just came to the realization, like, I just wasn't going to be able to do most of the things that I'm going to use this one. Most of the things that I wanted to do. Like, I was just going to have to take it easy. I was just going to have to chill. Like, like, all of the goals that I had set for my January were just going to have to take back seat to me just surviving, right? And so that's what I did. I just tried to find a medication that worked for me, and I tried to survive. I did find a medication that worked. Oh, I ended up taking a genetic test to help me find a medicine that'll work. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Super expensive. The insurance covered most of it, but I didn't have to pay it, but $100 out of pocket, but still. Like, if you saw what the insurance had to cover, dear Lord, genetic testing is expensive, but whatever. After I tried one medicine that made me horribly nauseous, we tried another one after we did genetic testing, and I don't know that it's working. It did not make me sick, though, which is something that we were trying to avoid, especially since I deal with a whole lot of other stuff. And so now we're in April. I've taken the medication for anxiety for a couple of weeks, and now we're in April, right? And so I am going to this appointment not knowing what at all to expect. I get there. The place is really nice. It's a different healthcare system. And so, you know, I was a little bit concerned, but I didn't have nothing to lose. I first met with the first of all, here's the thing. Normally the appointments in the system that I go to now, or doesn't matter who you're seeing, the appointment's not going to be more than 10 minutes. And so I was expecting a lot of that. And so I came prepared to like quickly tell them everything that was going on. And it was just a whole lot more laid back. I sat and talked with the doctor in training, basically, is what I'm guessing it is. He was really nice. And I went over all my symptoms with him. He did a full body examination for pain points and stuff like that. And then I got to speak with my actual new rheumatologist, and he started explaining some things to me. And he was like, yeah, sounds like you have fibromyalgia. Yeah, I can definitely help you manage it. But also, did anybody tell you about your lab results? And so I was like, what you talking about? My lab results from when they do the exclusion, because fibromyalgia is a diagnosis of exclusion. They run all these tests to make sure you don't have some sort of autoimmune disease. Take all of your family history and stuff like that, which I don't recall them doing. They may have, but I don't recall them doing. And if there's nothing on your lab and you don't have any autoimmune family history, then it's fibromyalgia. If there's something on your labs, they have to figure out what it is, whether it's lupus or RA or rheumatoid arthritis, whatever. Well, he was like, well, did anybody say anything about your labs? I was like, what about them? Well, there's a particular test on my labs that concern my rheumatologist. And I was like, well, my... is this the one that I use? Yeah, this is the one that I use. Blush. Again. This is not the one that I use. It can't be. He was like, yeah, like this particular thing is really high and it shouldn't be. Fibromyalgia doesn't make it do that. I was like, oh, well, they said, my doctor and my primary care physician said that it was just high because of the fibromyalgia. He was like, no, fibromyalgia doesn't show up on labs. I was like, well, what is it? And he starts messing around with my joints. He starts asking me some family history. I'm like, yeah. Like, no. He was like, huh. And he starts messing with my hands, starts talking about how they're swollen. I'm like, yeah, they're always swollen. My hands always hurt. My hands and feet always hurt. He's like, huh. He's like, I think it might be psoriatic arthritis. I was like, I've never heard of that. What is that? He's like, it's an autoimmune disease. Shut up. And he's like, he explained how some of the family history that I talked to him about he would have to run some more tests, but he thinks that might be what it is. And it might be why my fibromyalgia, I just can't manage it. It's just not getting any better or any more manageable, because fibromyalgia is a chronic condition. And he's like, I'm going to run the test. And he also was like, hey, the medicine that you were taking for fibromyalgia, they manage the symptoms, but they don't stop the fibromyalgia. He explained how fibromyalgia is caused by neurons in your brain overloading the nerves in your body, and that causes your primary system of defense in your skin cells to be basically killed off, and then you're left to your secondary, more serious defenses, and your body just basically is overreacting. And he was like, well, we can get those neurons to stop. And he was like, this medicine will get them to stop. And it works in some way for about 80% of the people who take it. 20% of people don't see any results in it. 80% see some. 15-20% see like just amazing results in the first month. But most people just see they're better able to manage their fibromyalgia. And I'm like, okay, we'll try that. I think it's like $20 a month. 4-month supply. It's not particularly expensive. Like, okay, we're getting somewhere. I'll try that. I'm going to have to do my eyebrows now. I don't know if I'll be able to like stay in the mirror. If I can't. Oh, I can. I think I'll be okay. So am I super close? I am super close, but it's fine. We'll just get closer to each other today. And so I did the blood work. He was like, yeah, that's not just fibromyalgia. You probably have psoriatic arthritis. I'm going to start you on this medication. It's just a generic immunosuppressant. And you call me if you have any issues. They also had to do some more lab work to make sure I was okay to take it. I was healthy enough to take it. And I was. And I started taking it. Is it doing anything? I don't know. I think it's one of the things that I don't have any negative side effects from it, which is what I was mostly concerned about. I think it's one of those things where we're going to have to find the right dose, because I think he started on probably the lowest dose he could for my body weight to avoid side effects. I have another appointment in probably like 3 weeks now, where we'll do some more lab work and see how I'm doing and see if we need to adjust anything. But the biggest takeaway I got from that, and why I say my dad failed me, not simply because I was in horrible pain and they just ignored it. Like, she'll be all right, it's just fibromyalgia. Or make an appointment and come in. But my lab results warranted more investigation at the time of my diagnosis of fibromyalgia. Like, if nothing else, this is high, we think it's just fibromyalgia, but we'll probably have to look at it again. The only other appointment that I've had with my rheumatologist was when I made an appointment, because I've had horrible hip pain over the summer. Last summer. It was last summer. That was the only other time that he even requested he didn't request. I went in. I made an appointment myself, because I said if it didn't resolve by this time, I told my husband I would make an appointment. And I did. And what he had prescribed me then didn't help either. So, yeah, like my lab results, if nothing else, should have warranted. And this doesn't look good, but we'll check it again in a few months, right? Even if you thought it was just fibromyalgia, you should have checked to make sure that's exactly what it was. Does that look as dark as I think it does? Yes, it does. Ooh, child, what we doing? I'm gonna carve it out. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm gonna carve it out. And lesson learned. I recognize now that I probably should have went to the emergency room too in November when I was having all that pain. Because something could have actually been really wrong. And I took my rheumatologist and my primary care physician's lack of action as, oh, I must not have been dying. But they just weren't doing what they were supposed to do. They just did not do what they were supposed to do. And that's just bottom line. I'm definitely not seeing that rheumatologist again. Will I go back to that PCP? I don't know. I think a lot of the issue too is the system that my doctor's office is and how they approach, what's it called when you have a chronic condition? How they approach, I forget what it's called, but how they approach that kind of care. It's very much of do as little as possible. And for me, and the issues that I was having, it just wasn't helping. I feel like for most people, it would have been fine. Like, nobody would have died. But for me, it just wasn't helpful. Like, psoriatic or arthritis is a progressive condition. And not managing your health when you have progressive conditions, that means it gets worse over time, can lead to lifelong complications. And that's not something I was trying to deal with. So going forward, we got to figure out if this current medicine that I'm on, going forward, I now have, what is it? 3 chronic illnesses and a mood disorder. Joy. And I really do feel that, part of the issue with my anxiety and with my with the depressive episodes that I get into sometimes is because I'm just in so much pain. Just in case you were wondering, the normal level of pain is 0. And I rarely feel 0 pain. I can't remember a day where I've had 0 pain. Even right now I'm hurting. Just kind of is what it is. That's the day to day. And so that does not help one's mental health. But yeah, now that I have yet another chronic illness that I have to manage, I'll be talking about it on here. There's not a lot to talk about right now because I don't know much about psoriatic arthritis. Don't. I'm learning with the help of my doctor. They've been very helpful. I haven't had any reason to get with them recently because I'm taking the medicine. Do I feel any better? I don't know if it's too early to tell or what. My stomach, the stomach issues that I had resolved after the first dose of the medicine for, specifically for psoriatic arthritis. That is the only thing that I have noticed. Like, I can eat. Because it had gotten to the point where, like, it wasn't just avoid this. It was just when I ate, my stomach hurt. And so I just was dealing with stomach aches. It didn't matter what I did eat or didn't eat. I was going to have a stomach ache, right? Which is frustrating, but, you know, what nothing I can do about it. I still got to eat. The healthier foods, the worse it was. I was eating a lot of crackers and cheese and Jell-O cups. At one point, I was eating like 6 Jell-O cups a day. And I was like, this is ridiculous. Because Jell-O cups didn't hurt as much. But all of that resolved. I hadn't had a Jell-O cup in like 2 weeks. I can like eat meals and be okay. Like, stomach doesn't hurt, which is nice. I had broccoli 3 days in a row. I haven't been able to eat broccoli in like over a year. Like, I just stopped buying it, which is crazy to me. But yeah, that is amazing. So yeah, I am not angry or bitter. I am just at this point, I am basically doing 2 things. Like, I am, one, clean slating it. Like, I am deciding what I want in life and how I want stuff to go and how I want to be and how I want to be received. And that's just what it is. And everything that's not that just gets wiped away. I'm not dealing with it. I'm not doing it. And I'm also calling it what it is, right? Calling a thing a thing. And I think a lot of that has helped me to like deal with managing my health. Like, just being like, hey, this is not working. I have this issue. I have this pain. I need this help. And if you're not given that, then you're not helpful. I have fibromyalgia and psoriatic arthritis, and like, that's just what it is, right? And I need help with these conditions. If what you're doing isn't helping, you're not helping. We can do something else, but we're not going to sit up here and act like what you're doing is helpful and I'm doing something wrong. I'm not going to sit up here and pretend like I'm not in pain. My eyebrows look great. I need to do something to my eyelids now because my eyebrows are too fabulous today. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do something to my eyelids. When your makeup, your eyebrows come out too good for the rest of your makeup. But yeah, so going forward, like, I just can't be the patient that allows doctors to kind of breeze by things that I'm dealing with. I remember seeing this statistic when I first got diagnosed with my first chronic illness, interstitial cystitis, which I don't talk about much because I'm able to manage it because I really get care around it. But, and what I saw was that most people who have interstitial cystitis go 4 years before they're ever even diagnosed, because the symptoms just get pushed off. Like, oh, you have a bladder infection. For 4 years, you have a bladder infection? For 4 years, you like, and I'm thankful that I found that I had help finding a doctor that was worth something, or not saying that my doctor was worthless, that's unkind, but was worth the effort in making the extra appointment. Because that's, a lot of times that's what it is. Like, nobody wants to make another appointment to do what we have already done, to spend more money on more tests, you know? It's disheartening and it's frustrating. But also nobody wants to be, oh, how did I miss my whole lip? Nobody wants to be sick either. Nobody wants to be in pain all of the time either. And so you kind of got to weigh your options. We changed our insurance plan so that we could afford me going to the doctor as much as I've been going to. Because that was cheaper than all of the money we were paying for doctors. It's a lot, but it is what it is, you know? I have these issues, and this is what it takes to deal with these issues, and I'm gonna do what it takes. I'm just gonna do what it takes. Okay, that's all I'm gonna talk about today, I think. Do I look okay? I need to do some mess to my eyelids. Do I look alright? Am I pretty? Am I pretty? Hopefully. I need to put some mascara on. All of that good stuff. But for now, that's it. Got a new doctor. Got a new diagnosis. Last doctor, dear Lord. But I came out all right. So many people don't, though, but I came out all right, and I'm thankful for that. I won't hold any negativity in my heart towards anybody. And I'm not going to fight with a doctor to do what I need them to do. Like, it ain't enough that you get paid. Anyway, I'm going to go put some rest of my stuff on my face. I'll take a picture so y'all can see what this look like when I'm actually done and I comb my hair, but wish me luck on this new journey with this new autoimmune disease. I need it. God bless, and I'll see you in the comment section in the next video.